Hello everybody, welcome to part 3 of this Intro to Blacksmithing series. If you have not seen part 1 and part 2, just a quick recap for you here. You can see is that we are hitting this large piece of metal, and I was just basically teaching this guy how to whack it, and how to whack it good, so that hopefully we can finish good. Now, if you needed tips on whacking and finishing, again, watch part 1 and part 2. Now, here in part 3, we are finishing up the whacking of the solid rod, and now we are getting into the finer details of whacking a smaller rod, and we will be getting used to the artistry that comes with making something out of metal with a hammer, just beating on something, just whacking it. All right, there's an art to it, that is for sure. Anyways, all jokes aside, I want to clarify, I am a self-taught blacksmith. I do not know if these are the exact correct way to make a leaf. I'm probably not giving the best information, and if you hear anything that is incorrect or I am not giving that semi-correct, if you feel like you need to correct me in what I've told him, he watches these videos, so feel free to comment below and I will see those. I will relay to him. He will see it as well. He will understand. It'll help him. Ultimately, it's going to help us both. So feel free to correct anything incorrect there. Be respectful, please. But otherwise, I hope you enjoy the video, and thank you for coming back.
Damn it. Don't touch it. Yeah, I thought about it, like, that's not a good idea. That's hot. It's very hot. Don't touch. Yep, but it's getting there, see? Oh, it's kind of like toothpick, kind of like this. Yeah. I see that. No big deal. You just hammer it. Exactly. You just whip it into shape. You know that's where that comes from, right, blacksmiths? Whip it into shape? Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. Because you whack it into shape. You beat it into shape. Blacksmith is someone who shapes metal. Oh, you got a broken tool here? I can fix it. Just give it to me for 2 hours. Yep. You got a broken tool? All right, 2 chickens and I'll fix it for you. The barter system. Yeah, kind of miss it. I'd like to just have random stuff I can give you and then you give me stuff. People used to have stuff. Now nobody wants to own anything because they're dumb. I want to own stuff. I don't like borrowing other people's stuff. And it's not because I feel too proud, it's just because I want to own the stuff myself. I don't care if it's something I'm renting. I don't want to rent someone's tractor. I want a tractor. So I can just do whatever I want with it. Okay. GoPro, stop recording. Alright, so you want to choke up on it a little bit here. I'm making a big leaf, as you can see. That's a lot of metal for a leaf. Yeah. You do not need to do that. You can start right here if you want to, and choke up on it and do that tiny little leaf if you want to. Do whatever size you want. I'm doing this because I know I'm going to hit it like this eventually. Yeah. You're not using the whole bar to make the thing. No, I'm not using the whole thing right now. I'm going to be just using this end here. Okay, it's like my imagination hasn't figured out how you're going to turn this into a leaf. So you're elongating the end right there, stretching it out, kind of flattening it out. You're going to cut it off? I'm sectioning off what I'm using right now. I'm not going to cut it off because I want to be able to control it. Yeah. So now I have this on this little end. I can hold it up. I have a little bit more control. It's steady. And this is where I'm going to flatten getting like the whole like.
Yep. And then I'm gonna do this
to
flatten out the corners.
Yeah.
And then that's where it's gonna make a leaf. Yeah, as you can see, I haven't made a leaf in a long time.
Yeah.
But I made that product I showed you, that like hanging leaf thing. So I like making those types of leaves because I did it well, but I usually use smaller steel because it makes it a lot easier to get the shape I want.
Okay.
But this is something that I used to do and I used to be good at, but I don't practice this. So
yeah. I'm getting like a 30% image here. I'm starting to get.
You're getting that exactly. You'll get it as I do it,
because I haven't
as
like
you do it.
because like I haven't turned metal into anything, so my imagination isn't there yet. Where it's like,
well,
and turning this rod into a leaf. I'm trying to figure out how you want to do that.
there you go. Apparently, I need a new hammer.
So you started out by doing, if I remember right.
I'd say right there would be good. Hit it that way. Flip it over. You don't want to bend it all too much that way. You want to, the point of hitting it right there against the metal. Now, so yeah, don't bend it. Straighten it out. Put it flat on it. No, other way. Turn it around. Put it flat on it. Put the center in the center. Hit it right there. Okay, now slide it back over here. What you want is you're using the metal to shape it, to cut it off where you want to start making your leaf. So make it whatever size you want it.
Okay, go about right there, I guess.
Yeah, that's probably about as much as you're going to get a leaf out of. I'd pull it back a little bit. Right there, yep.
Okay.
You want to hit it hard. Rotate it 90. 90. And hit it hard. This is sectioning off what you're using. So you want to lift it up higher in the back.
Higher in the back. This right here.
Alright, now rotate it over, look at what you're hitting. So you see how this, nope, rotate it all the way. You see how it cuts into that?
Yeah.
That's using this. That's using
So you're using the side.
anvil like another hammer or something. You're using it to
basically
shape.
get it in.
That's the whole point of this thing. That's why it exists.
Okay.
It's to shape metal. So you use it to shape it, not just the hammer. Don't use the peen.
Don't use that.
You can use like the corners like I do, but now that we're actually doing something that requires somewhat of a finish, I'll clean it off. So, GoPro, stop recording. So yes, right where that line is, my leaf will be no taller than that.
Yeah.
And then when I get to the point where I want to start, I'm going to go ahead and idea that I'm going for here.
Yeah, I'm starting to get what you're doing, but I'm not sure how I would go about doing that. Like with my hands.
These corners. You hit it like that. Now if you need something a little bit more rigid, I mean, you can flatten it out more, right?
Yeah.
So you can, I need to do this. I was just showing you how you would hit it. You see how those lines came in?
Yeah.
I'd hit it with that. You can also, eventually we're going to use this to flatten it and make it pointy.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out how you got it to that point again. So you kind of section it off right in that center, so you got that point right there. And I'm trying to figure out how you got it.
So it was round, and I hit it like this, with that little bit of a lip. There's a tiny bit of a lip. There's not much of one, but I would use that corner, and I'd hit it like this. So that way I'm only hitting that and drawing it out that way. I'm not good with my left hand, but this is good to practice with your left hand because you want to be able to hit something. And so I'm going to try to hit that with my left hand again next time when I pull it out. Okay. And then that way I can make it wider at the top and I'll point it down at the bottom. Yeah. And yours is about hot enough. Just let it sit for a second longer. GoPro, stop recording. More angle.
More angle like this?
Back. More angle. No. Back. More angle.
Okay, so like that.
Yeah. Now rotate it though, because you've already flattened that side. Hit the very corners, the very front corners. Don't hit the material. Hit the corners. Tilt your hammer. Here, like this. So, like this. You want to hit it.
Oh, I get what you're saying now.
Because you're not trying to make it super. This will also fatten it down, so you have more to work with. But that's why you can also do it like this over here. Hold on.
I kind of get what you're saying now.
Yeah, so you can do it like that over here. But that way you got, you know, you're shortening it up, you're fattening it out. It's not going to be a perfect leaf because I'm not the best teacher here because I haven't done it in a while, but that's kind of the idea behind it. So you can do it over here on this one, but what you want is you want to angle that so that you're hitting it flat, because the more you can hit it flat, you're going to hit it better than if you're doing this, because you're not used to doing this.
You're pulling it up and you're like...
Yeah, I'm doing this here because I want to get that corner to be flat, to be pointed, and then you roll it over and do that. Now, best way to flatten this out is just... This is mild steel, so it's okay to bend it a little bit, but so you kind of get the idea.
You're taking that edge, you're lifting it up, and you're like hitting it at a slant, and you're trying to like point it out.
Whatever angle, so if you think about it, whatever angle this is versus this is the angle that's gonna receive, is because you're hitting it against that to get that angle.
Yeah.
So if you only do this, you're gonna have a long, the smaller your angle, the higher it is, the shorter the point will be. The lower it is, the longer it will be. Now you can also do it like this and lengthen it out and do it like round in a corner and do it like that, which I might recommend now because we've gotten it to where the corners are already coming in. And so do that, and you can beat down those corners, and then you can get that point in. But again, you want to keep that angle because you don't want the point to be super long. Eventually you'll flatten it out.
Yeah.
Eventually it'll be flattened, but for right now you just want to get the basic idea shape while it's like this, because this is where you have the most forgiveness, because you can fix whatever you do.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to take that over for you, but
No, it's fine. You kind of need to, because honestly, otherwise I really wouldn't know what I'm doing.
yeah, I mean, we're trying to do something like that with it, you know?
Point it out.
So that's just how it kind of broke off, but this was just like this. Just hitting it in multiple spots to get it round like that. But what you initially do is you draw it out, hitting it like that. That makes it longer. That gives you more stuff to work with. And then you'll do that. It'll give it more stuff to work with.
Yeah.
And then when you start doing this,
It'll round it out.
that'll round it out and make it into a nice rounded
Okay.
corner.
Slowly figuring this out.
GoPro, stop recording. Just trying to flatten it so that way I have that point to work with, because now you see it's starting to look like if it was one of these leaves right here, it's already at this leaf shape, you know?
Yeah.
Basic idea. That's kind of the idea there. So it's basically, it doesn't have to be perfect. You can get it to be perfect, but often the unevenness makes it look better. So if you get a little bit uneven, it's okay. Try to make it perfect because that's what you want to go for.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter too much. Now I'm gonna hit it with my left hand here.
Okay. It's starting to come into shape now. I kind of get it a little bit more now.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to grasp at first. But eventually we'll do this and we'll hit it for each other so that way we can get it nice and easy. And then of course if you don't think it's wide enough, you can heat it up and just do this. Because, well, not on this because it's an anvil, but we can just do it on this. And then that'll flatten it out and it'll smush it in there so that you can bring this back in if you want to.
But how thin do you think it should be?
How thin is a leaf? Alright. I'm over here like, oh, it's ready. Let me grab it. No, it's you. GoPro, stop recording. Never mind, whatever.
Alright, so, and if I remember right, we're doing something like this.
GoPro, stop recording. GoPro, stop recording.